Those who haven't seen the most recent wrestling news, let's get into it. For those who don't know, AEW is in the middle of a television rights deal negotiation with Warner Bros. Discovery. If you're not aware of that fact, hello, welcome to Planet Earth, first day in the professional wrestling space, and we are glad to have you. Now, for those who are caught up on the fact that AEW has been going through television rights deal, I want to bring up an article that was just released today. Now, there was a report that the deal has been leaked for what AEW's television rights are going to be for. That is a 3-year deal with a 4th-year option set at $170 million a year. Now, this deal does not include HBO's streaming of pay-per-views or Max's streaming of pay-per-views, as a lot of people had speculated. That could mean one of two things. Either AEW is not going to be moving to a subscription-based pay-per-view model on Max, which to me would be an awful idea. Terrible. Absolutely horrendous idea, because paying $50 a pay-per-view a piece is getting a little annoying, to say the least. Granted, I have enjoyed the shows, don't get me wrong. I just don't like $50 coming out of my paycheck every month. Now, having said that, the article does go on to state that the Max/pay-per-view streaming deal very well could be separate from the amount outlined in this article. So, there could still be a deal. The television deal is one thing, right? I always knew the television deal was going to happen. Never really concerned about that. I know there's a lot of creators on the space who might have, I don't want to say led you astray, but let's just say they let their feelings about AEW get in the way of reporting things that make sense, right? As for the HBO Max deal, that could still be in play. I would like to see that most definitely. If AEW does not, I think that is a huge miss for AEW. Having your pay-per-views to where people can experience them for a cheap price is a very good idea. The reason I say that is we can all generally find somewhere to watch your television product. It's on TBS, that's fine. But your pay-per-views sometimes can be a little hard to find. And if fans do not want to spend the money and they do not want to surf the high seas to try to find your content otherwise, they're not going to be invested in your week-to-week show, because why would I be invested in your week-to-week show if I cannot see the payoffs at the pay-per-view? Now, I think having the pay-per-views, it's going to be on HBO Max. I think that's going to happen. As we've seen, they're already on, their repeats of the pay-per-views are already on HBO Max, or just Max, I guess, right? Got to keep the branding. Are on Max in Europe, which I think HBO Max in France is Max Million, HBO Max Million. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, but $170 million makes AEW the second largest television deal. The article does state, what was it? It was the second largest television rights deal, or it was AEW's television rights deal is as big as WWE's was post Stone Cold Steve Austin adjusting for inflation. And I know all you numbers nerds in the comments are going to be running wild with that, because adjusted for inflation, oh my God, we might as well be talking about the economy then. But no, this is just reported. Obviously, we'll have to wait to see what happens. The article does state that if nothing changes of substantial value in the deal, looks like we could be hearing something as early as next week, barring any last-minute changes. So, I guess Tony Khan is going to have another big announcement sometime soon. Can't wait to see this, because, I feel like we've just kind of been delaying the inevitable. A lot of bad faith takes from not only certain fans, but I'll say certain creators, not only on TikTok, but in the podcast space as well, about AEW being a commercial failure. And I'm sorry, the recent report was they were being paid $85 million a year for their entire suite of products. That's Collision, Rampage, and Dynamite. And if you're going up to 170, I don't know about you, but if I go in and I'm working a deal with my boss about my pay package and they almost double my pay, I'm probably doing pretty good. So, having said that, get ready for the news to break, I guess, in the coming weeks. Look forward to seeing it. Remember, folks, pro wrestling is predetermined. Your life isn't. Go do something great today. We'll see you next time.